Unit 8B group quiz. We're going to go ahead and begin going over this. So, number 1, it says, what is the value of the log base 5 of 125? Remember, these are similar to your log facts. So, if you can change 125 to be base 5, you can find your answer pretty quickly. So, 125 is 5 to what power?
To the third.
Very good. Therefore, these cancel, and your answer is 3. On 64, we know that 64 is 4 to what power?
3.
To the third, but we can't have that in the denominator, and that's where some people make the mistake. When we bring that up, it becomes log base 4 of 4 to the negative third. So be careful. That cancels out, and my answer is negative 3. Okay, we had similar problems like number 3 last unit when we were dealing with exponents only. Okay, 27 is 3 to what power?
To the third. Or just
Yeah, to the third, and the square root of 3 is 3 to the 1/2. Therefore, this is log base 3 of 3 to the, no, 3.5, because you would add 3 plus a half together. So that makes it 3.5 is your answer, because those cancel. What would be another way you might see this answer? No.
you could see it
7 over 2. And remember that your test is multiple choice. So you need to understand that 3.5 is the same thing as 7 over 2. How did we find 7 over 2? 3 times 2 is, plus 1 is, and you keep it over the same denominator. Okay, example 4. This is the log of 0.001. 0.001 is the same thing as 10 to what power? 10 to the negative third power. Okay, this is the same thing as saying 1 over 1,000, right? Because this is in the thousands place, 1 over 1,000. And then that would change to, this is 10 to the third power, and you bring it up, and it's 10 to the negative third power. These cancel, and so my answer is negative 3. 5 is already written out for you. You just have to remember that when those match, these cancel, and the answer is 27. Number 6, they asked us to write in exponential form. How do I write number 6 in exponential form? That's it. That would be your answer. X to the y power equals a. Could they also write it as a equals x to the y power? Yeah, so just remember it can be written both ways. Number 7 says solve for x. Okay, when I look at this, I can't cancel out the logs on both sides. So, because there's only a single log, right? Therefore, you should change it into which form? Good, exponential form. How do I write number 7 in exponential form? Good, x to the 1/3 power equals 125. Please pay attention while I'm going over this. I realize most of you have done it, but it's going to help you remember this as we go through this. Okay, how do I get rid of the 1/3 power? Good, you raise it to the reciprocal power, which in this case will be 3. Whatever you do to one side, you also do to the other side. These cancel, so I just get x equals, and 125 to the third power is 1,953,125. Okay? You have a calculator that does it in about a millisecond. Okay. Number 10, it says rewrite using exponents. What it's going to say is what's another way of writing this? So if I want to move it so that the 3 is not in front, we can bring that up into the exponent. So this would be a log of x to the third power. So they just want you to rewrite it a different way. So you just need to remember that that number can come up and be an exponent. Questions on page 1 so far? All right, moving on to the next page. Okay, this is where I find that students make lots of mistakes. So, pay attention. When you're rewriting this as a single log, Eric, what do we do with addition? How does it change?
Multiplication.
It changes to multiplication. On your test, one of the answers will be log 8. And a lot of you are going to choose it, especially those of you that are playing on your phones or reading a book and not paying attention. Okay, so addition, when you're changing it to a single log, becomes multiplication. This is becoming log of 3 times 5, which means my answer is log 15. Okay, number 10, they want you to graph it. Before you graph, it's always easiest to change this into exponential form. How does this change into exponential form? 2 to the y power equals x. So we make a t-chart with x and y. Since y is in my exponent, that is the values that you would want to choose. Okay, so let's go ahead and just choose -2, 0, and a +2. When I plug in a -2, what answer am I going to get? 2 to the -2, you'd have to end up moving that to be 1 over 2 to the second, which makes 1 over, what is 2 to the 0 power? 1, and what is 2 to the second power? Okay, so when we graph this, if I'm going 1/4, I go 1/4 is in between 0 and 1, right? So 1/4 and down 2 and make a point. On the x, I go over 1 and up 0. There is my next point. And then over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 2. So my line or curve looks like this. Questions on the graph? Okay. Number 11. It says log 2 equals this decimal and log 7 equals that decimal. What is the approximate value of log 28? What that is telling you is that you need to change these into terms of 2 and 7. So if you take 28, what numbers multiply to be 28? 7 and 4, and then 4 breaks down to 2 and 2. So what I really have is log of 7 times 2 times 2. Do we all agree with that?
Yeah.
If we want to separate them out so that they are the specific logs, we change multiplication into addition when we're expanding it. So this will become log 7 plus log 2 plus log 2. If you go back to the original problem, they told us that log 7 is 0.845. So that's 0.845 plus log 2 is 0.301. Log 2 is 0.301. So if we add all those together, 0.845, 0.301, 0.301, we get 7, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1.447 is the correct answer.
Wait, why did we add this one, but then on... Oh wait, never mind. Never mind.
Okay. Because it has to do with expanding or condensing and such. Okay. So, number 12 says to solve for x. Remember that if we can make it so that there is a single log on both sides, then we can drop the logs. Okay, so how can I change the left side to be a single log?
Put it over division.
Good. Subtraction changes to division. So I have log base 6 of 36 divided by 4 equals log base 6 of x. If you have a single log on both sides, you can drop the logs. Let's drop the logs. What is 36 divided by 4? So 9 equals x, and that is my answer. Questions? Good. All right. Again, number 13. I'm like, oh, cool. I can probably make this so there's a single log on both sides so that I can drop the logs. Okay, so what am I going to do on number 13? What does addition change to? Multiplication. So how will I rewrite number 13? Good. Log 3x equals log 24. Since I have a single log on both sides, I may drop the logs, and so I have 3x equals 24, and in order to solve for x, I now will divide by 3. So my answer is x equals 8. That is correct. Now in number 14, I cannot get a single log on both sides because there isn't a log over here. But I can condense these and then change it into exponential form. So if you just have one log on one side, you can change it to exponential form. So how will I change the left side? What will it change to? Equals 2. Now you want to change that to exponential form. How do I change that?
6 squared equals 4x.
Okay, and then? Good. 36 equals 4x. And lastly?
Divide by 4.
So my answer is?
Wait. Where did you get the 6 squared?
So at this point right here, were you okay with condensing to make that 4x?
Yeah.
Okay, then because I can't drop the logs. Well, no way. I cannot drop the logs, right? Because there's only a single log. So when you have a single log, you can change it to exponential form.
Okay.
So that's how I got 6 to the second power equals 4x. Because that's changing from exponential form. From log form to exponential.
Okay.
And then we could solve. Okay? I'm going to stop the video here.